G'day everybody, how are you going today? It is so very good to see you. Now I've had a few comments, a few questions, a few requests around talking about motivation. We've obviously been through the toughest year that we've seen, I suppose, since the World Wars. Globally, this is absolutely the toughest. And some of us around the world have been locked down for almost a year. And that means not traveling much, not going to work, not doing all sorts of normal things that keep us sane. So this video, it's not about photography. It's about motivation, and it's about a really serious topic which I take very seriously, mental health. And the online space, it can be a tough space. It can be a space that's not overly interested in online health. And if there's something, if my legacy can be in 20 years' time, the improvement of the online community to increase the quality of online health, then I'd love that on my gravestone. So let's start with motivation. Let's start there. How do we find motivation? Well, I always say to people who are starting a career in photography, not when they've been through a global pandemic, but just in general, how do you stay motivated? I say, choose to photograph things that you love. It's kind of critical. If you love cats, if you love motorcycles racing, if you love windsurfers, if you love football, if you love birds, whatever it is, you should go and photograph that. It's absolutely critical that the subject matter that you're out there capturing is something that you're prepared to put a lot of time into. Because at the end of the day, most of us want to have accolades for our artistic endeavors, for the thing that we put so much effort into. So it definitely needs to be something that you want to go back to time and time again. Because let me assure you, being a great photographic craftsperson doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't happen being on fully auto. It happens with time, going back to the anvil again and again and again and again. So, tip number one, photograph things that you're excited about, honestly. It's absolutely critical. But how do we motivate ourselves? Well, one of the most exciting things about a lot of types of photography, whether it's seascape, cityscape, landscape, birding, wildlife, sports, most sports, not all, is we're actually getting outside. We're getting amongst it. And I think it's so critical that we either see a little bit of nature or we see other people. Like when I'm out shooting cityscapes at night in a city, I'm surrounded by people. I'm surrounded by life. I think it's a great excuse to get your camera in your hand and just head on out. Even if you don't end up taking a single shot, taking your camera and saying that you're going to go for a shoot, even if you just end up going for a walk. Going for a walk is just so very, very good for ourselves. So in a way, people have said, well, how do I motivate myself? Well, just say, you've got to say to yourself, I've got to go and take some photos. I'm going to go out for an hour. I'm going to go for a walk. Take yourself to a place you know you love. And if you're still in a 5 kilometre, 3 mile lockdown, well, I hope you've got somewhere nice within your area. Ultimately, we have to dig deep and ask ourselves the question in regards to photography, why are we doing it? Now, you might do it for professional reasons, but I think we would find, and I would love to hear about this in the comments, that probably a higher percentage of people who buy cameras today, mirrorless 35mm cameras or APS-C, I'm not talking pocket cameras or cameras in mobile phones, a higher percentage of those people are actually doing it as a hobby. And on this very channel, I've actually spoken to multiple people who've taken up photography specifically for their mental health. And one person in particular has shared a story with me that they were, and this is absolutely true, they were contemplating taking their life. They took up photography, and it's given them a reason to live. So it really is just such a great excuse to motivate yourself. It within itself is a great excuse to motivate yourself. And it's not really very much more complicated than that. Find out what you love to photograph, whatever it is. Let's assume that it's beautiful coastal areas. Find the best lighthouse, the best rock formation, the best blowhole. Find it on the map. Get in your car, get on your bike, get on the train, and head on out. And take your time and create the best image that you can. That gets you going. What I don't want any of us to do is to second guess. What I love about living in the digital age, what I absolutely love about it is the fact that we can all take one photograph or 700 photographs, and there is no cost difference if we're shooting on digital. So don't second guess yourself. I don't like the fact that Nike have stolen this slogan, but just do it. Just get out there and you will be surprised that once you're out amongst it, things just happen. You are not going to get the best bird photograph ever if you're sitting at home staring at the wall. So just get out there. For the type of photography I do, I always find something when I'm out there. And I have my bad days, and I don't mean my bad days of photography. I have my days where I don't want to go out. I feel tired. I feel like, is there more that I can say? Is there different views? I've lived in the same city for 50 years. Can I find other opportunities? But there is always something new. The light is always different. I'll have to make that permutation video again where I talked about the fact that you could be in one spot and there's 360 degrees that you can look. There's 24 hours in the day, different focal length choices, aperture choices, and so on. In other words, all I'm trying to say here is there are endless opportunities even within one location. And even I find new opportunities in the same city after 35 years of photographing it. It still keeps sharing its secrets with me. But the only way it does it is by me getting out there. I also find another great motivator for me, and this might not work for everybody, is music. I actually have my own soundtrack to my journey, and I pick tracks that are my absolutely most inspiring tracks, and that really helps me on my journey as well. Now that might not work for everybody. It might not work for wildlife photography because you've got to listen, but that might help motivate you. Also pack a nice lunch. I think that's kind of very helpful as well. Good food. As for mental health, it's a really serious topic, and I don't think I'd be exaggerating in suggesting that maybe anywhere between 10 and 40% of people in the world are struggling with some degree of it at any point in time. It might even be a higher number than that. And now, right now, with people losing jobs and losing careers, and like there are so many industries under stress, mental health's a really big deal. And what I would like to do in this space, what I would like us all to do, is to respect each other. Give each other the benefit of the doubt. Don't assume that everybody's on the take. I've made a life out of art. I've made a life out of putting art before everything else. Those values aren't going to change. That's just me. That's the way it is. And I would gently and warmly suggest that the majority of human beings are good people. So let's make this community, and let's grow it as large as we can. Let's make this community a thoughtful, ask questions first before shooting, a thoughtful, caring community where we want to say, hey, are you okay? Hey, maybe things are tough for you. I get it right now. And we be nice to each other. And this comment flows directly into how we relate with each other in the comments. I think it's critical that we do that respectfully, but it's also about real life. And I genuinely say this to anyone out there: if you want to have a chat about anything, jump on my website, send me an email, and I'm happy to start a conversation that might help in some way, or might not, but the offer's out there. The worst thing we can feel in life is alone. It's absolutely the worst thing. I don't want anyone to feel alone. And I genuinely want this community to be one that works together and supports each other. My kids, they're 5 and 8, and they've taught me one thing. Well, no, they've taught me lots of things, but they've taught me one thing about this topic somewhat, which is if you want to make the dream work, teamwork. Well, if we want our lives to run smoothly, let's work together, huh? Reach out if you need to. Just keep talking in the comments. There's a lot of great people here, and we do all want to support each other. I think that's enough from me for now. We can keep talking about this. If people like this sort of video, I'm really happy to share my thoughts. I'm very happy to be warm and fuzzy. I know photographers are supposed to be tough and, you know, well, I'm one of those sensitive photographers. Okay, please in the comments share your thoughts, your life stories, your motivational blocks, your highs, your lows. It's open. This is an open forum, and let's respect each other within this forum. So thank you so much for being here. I'd love to see you again. And share whatever you want to share in the comments. Let's be respectful with each other. And let's end this with the beautiful lapping waves. What a great spot and what a great afternoon. There's the most amazing sunset going on over there. Thank you.